told. It looked very suspicious. At any rate, the next day, with bright light air, we tried to start the motor, which of course didn't start since it never started very well. And we tried to get into Little Harbor, or Catalina Harbor, in order to get the motor fixed, not realizing, of course, that there was nobody there in that time of year. We started out from a little cove, and we noticed that there was a large craft in the middle of Catalina Harbor. And I would say that it was around maybe 100 yards long, and it was about maybe 30 or 40 yards wide. And it was sort of a barge, and there was no question that it was sinking. There was nothing that we could do of any kind except to slowly make our way toward Catalina Harbor, where we hoped to get the starting motor fixed. As we came closer to this craft, there was a man. A man appeared on the outside of the barge, and he started jumping up and down and waving his hands, and he had a megaphone, and he started telling us to stay clear, stay clear. And I told him, I said, look, there's nothing we can do. And I didn't have a megaphone, so there was no way of me to communicate with. Well, we got very close to this horrible boat. Definitely it was sinking, and I wanted to tell him that his boat was sinking. I assumed that's why he was so upset, but it wasn't that he was so upset for that reason. He wanted us to get away, get out of there. Well, we got very close to this horrible boat. Definitely it was sinking, and I wanted to tell him that his boat was sinking. I assumed that's why he was so upset, but it wasn't that he was so upset for that reason. He wanted us to get away, get out of there. Nothing we could do. We went over to Catalina Harbor. We got off after docking the boat, went around the little town. Obviously, there was nobody there in February. So we were lost. We came back to the boat and sat there, and we noticed some activity going on this barge. Now it was pretty close to the surface of the water. And
I'm not a bad storyteller.
finally, the two girls decided to sun themselves, and this attracted, believe it or not, several of the young men who were on this horrible contraption out there. One of them asked us what was wrong, and I said the starting motor was kaput. And he said, do we have any tools to fix it? I said, obviously not. So he asked Betsy if she had a cosmetics kit, which I thought was rather strange, which she did. And he took the various little implements that she had in the cosmetics kit, plus a screwdriver, and took the starting motor off and had it all laid out all over that dock. He obviously knew what he was doing. And cleaned it all off, put it all back together again, put it on the motor, pushed the button, boom, started right up. By this time, the craft was right down on the surface, and I tapped this guy on the shoulder. I said, fella, I don't mean to be nosy, but your boat's going. And he said, oh yes, that's perfectly true. I said, well, aren't you concerned about it? He said, no. The craft was right down on the surface, and I tapped this guy on the shoulder. I said, fella, I don't mean to be nosy, but your boat's going. And he said, oh yes, that's perfectly true. I said, well, aren't you concerned about it? He said, no. I said, what is it doing there? I've never seen it in the harbor. We've been over there several times before. What is it doing there? He said, oh, well, it's a new device where we're going to go after manganese, which is in very short supply in this country, and we need it for the manufacture of various airplanes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Don't worry about it. It's really nothing. Well, the starting motor was working. We got off from Catalina. We went home. I looked back, and the thing was it had disappeared pretty good. The framework was there, but this insides on a Quonset hut arrangement had disappeared below the waves. Well, we forgot about it. And about a year and a half later, Betsy had gone home because her parents were ill. And I opened the Los Angeles Times, and there in the front of the paper was the craft. And of course, as you all guessed, it was the Glomar Explorer, and it had, had been testing during this period of time in Catalina because they didn't expect anybody to be there. Nobody goes there in February, and during that period of time, they'd gone off Hawaii and picked up the Soviet sub. You remember it sank, and picked up some of the survivors. And it got in the paper, so I called up Betsy and said, well, I'm going to clip this out for you. You'll never believe that was the Glomar Explorer, and that's the end of the story.
And you told that the engineers were rebuilding your engine.
We sent them a half gallon of Scotch whiskey. And of course, that was the engineer. They had the best engineers in the world right there. And so the guy could have probably taken the whole boat apart. Had nothing to do. So he couldn't wait to come over and see the lovely ladies and fix our starting motor. And he did get a half a gallon of a good Scotch whiskey from us, which because he gave us a car. We lived up in Redwood City, I think. Nice fella. But of course, they had the top engineers around California working on that craft, just by chance. Really quite an amusing story. And absolutely true. How could I make that up?
The Soviets lost the sub, and they used this to go down and retrieve it. Deep sea retrieval. High-tech thing.
And we would have left the harbor without chancing this guy's wrath, because he was quite upset being on that boat while we were going by him, nothing we could do. So that was that. And